Marley thought she was very happy with her boyfriend. They were spending a lot of time together and their wedding day was already planned. But shortly before the wedding, Marley started noticing something strange about her boyfriend. It didn't take her long to realize what he was up to, and when she saw this detail during the ceremony, they were done. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. Marley and Spencer spent a lot of time together, and she couldn't imagine a better boyfriend. They had no children yet, but after 4 years together, it was time for a beautiful wedding. The two lovebirds were going to get married, and the idea of having their own family started to develop. But a few months before the ceremony took place, Spencer started behaving more and more strangely. It was heartbreaking. Spencer kept coming home late from work, and we're not talking about a few hours of overtime here. No, Spencer sometimes stayed out until midnight. He would often come home exhausted and had absolutely no attention for Marley whatsoever. Strange. Marley soon began to doubt the stories her boyfriend told her. Every time Spencer told her that he was deep diving into the company numbers, working with his colleague Clark, and that it was probably going to be a late one. However, Spencer did not know that Marley also had Clark's number. When she called his colleague, he told her that he had just gone home at 5:01 p.m. that day. There were holes in her fiancé's story, and Marley didn't trust it one bit. Every Tuesday night, Marley and Spencer had a planned evening together. It was the highlight of her week. They were always busy, but this was their private time. They would go do something fun together, but this night turned out differently than expected. Spencer received a mysterious phone call at 8:15 p.m. He had to come to the office immediately. He told his girlfriend date night was officially cancelled. That pissed Marley off. But an emergency at work can happen. But then she didn't know yet that he had very different plans. As she walked back to the kitchen halfway through the film for a second glass of wine, she suddenly saw something standing in the corner of the room, her boyfriend's work bag. The bag contained all his office stuff. He would never go to the office without this bag, she thought. She tried to call him, but Spencer simply did not answer his phone. Eventually, she went to bed, frustrated. But then, she suddenly heard the door at 3:00 a.m. It was Spencer trying to sneak into the house. He slept on the couch, Marley thought, and that's exactly what he did. The next morning, Marley was walking down the stairs when she saw her boyfriend lying there on the sofa. At first, she wanted to confront him, but just before she tried to shake him awake, she suddenly smelled something. What is that smell? It smells like women's perfume, but the intensity and foulness of it were just horrible. At that point, she decided she didn't want to confront him. Marley couldn't take it anymore. She was not going to wait any longer and decided to investigate these strange occurrences on her own. One night, when she couldn't sleep, it was the first time in days that her boyfriend was sleeping in the same bed that she was. In the middle of the night, his phone received a text message. Her hand quickly reached for his bedside table. If he woke up from the vibration, she had lost her chance. But she was quick, and she lifted the phone without him ever noticing. She unlocked his phone and read the message. It was a woman called Sophie, a name that was unfamiliar to Marley, and seeing that she had sent her fiancé a message before, she started reading further. The conversation started about 3 months ago. It was indeed a colleague, and she was new to the business. When Marley read the messages, everything became clear. And when she read, "Hey baby, is your wife already asleep? If so, then come over here quickly." She knew enough. Her husband was cheating on her with a colleague, the bastard. They were supposed to get married in a few weeks. How could he do this to her? She decided to come up with a plan that her future ex-boyfriend would not soon forget. She was the first to tell her friends about her boyfriend's cheating. "I would dump him immediately and cancel the wedding," they all shouted. But Marley wanted none of it. She had a much better plan in mind. "The wedding must and will go ahead, but not because I love him. He will pay." And this is how she walked over to her friends and whispered something in their ears. It was the big day of the wedding, and it looked to be a great party, at least so it seemed to the visiting guests and of course to her husband-to-be, Spencer, because that was exactly Marley's plan. She wanted everybody to be in the dark. The guests were already sitting in the garden, waiting for her to walk down the aisle. But first, she had to tell her father about the plan. Now he too was in on the plot. "Let the show begin," she said with full confidence. Spencer didn't notice anything. He had been outside for a while, laughing with his friends who were telling prepared jokes about him. The pastor held the microphone in front of Spencer's mouth, and it was now up to him to tell an interesting story for all the people present. He first started by thanking everyone attending this joyful day and told everyone how beautiful his almost wife looked. His almost wife if he only knew, Marley thought. But as he made his speech, which was mostly about himself, like everything in their relationship always was, Marley suddenly smelled something. She followed her nose and then, once again, smelled that cheap perfume smell that had been clinging to her friend for months now. She tried to convince herself that it wasn't that bad, but it was. She turned around and then saw this terrible sight. The smell was very clearly coming from Spencer's colleague, who had stepped forward a little irritated. That horrible human being does have guts to suddenly step forward like that, Marley thought. She pinched her nose together momentarily, avoiding that disrespectful smell that haunted her dreams. But then she saw the following. Beneath a drag and a bunch of flowers, she saw that the woman was holding her phone. She was typing something, and a few seconds later, she heard Spencer's phone buzzing in his pocket. Marley was furious and now seized her moment to make a complete fool of him. Indeed, it was her moment to speak, and she left no seconds unused. The microphone was snatched from the pastor's hands, and Marley grabbed her phone. For what Spencer did not know was that Marley had secretly made a copy of his SIM card and phone details. Every time he received a call or a message, she too received it on her device. She knew about all the dirty games and would now use them to burn Spencer and his colleague to the ground. She opened her phone, and then all of her hard work paid off in one glorious moment, a moment for everyone attending to watch. She projected all his conversations on the big screen. Spencer was startled and tried to run away quickly at first, but Daddy Dearest was in on the plot as well and held Spencer down. "You're not going anywhere. You stay put and watch what you did to my daughter," he told them. Marley was happy that her father and all of her loyal friends were there to help. The big screen showed every lie, every cheating message and picture, and all the invited people could watch how this drama got started. Spencer burst into tears and begged Marley to stop, but Marley was not done. She told in front of everyone that he did not deserve her and that she never wanted to see him again. She could have cut this off much earlier, but explained that he did not deserve that respect. Marley deserved a man who was loyal to her and went 100% for her, and Spencer was the complete opposite of this. Finally, her father let go of Spencer, after which he quickly left the wedding venue. Marley only saw him once more after this when he came to collect his things from home. She hugged her father, who told her he was proud of her and that she would eventually find the one. Less than 2 months later, she met Jonas. He was a sweet and gentle man, had a British accent, and worked at a dog shelter where Marley happened to come to pick a pet that day. It clicked immediately, and they went on a date, and he was just perfect for her. He listened to her and really wanted to spend time with her. The two promised each other to take it slow. They really wanted to get to know each other, but so far, things are going great. Jonas was loving, honest, and paid full attention to her. He also clicked well with her family and so helped her get over her terrible previous relationship, because Marley deserves genuine love this time.